G'day guys, welcome back to Mud Rats Hunting and Outdoors. Today I'm going to be doing this video a little bit about safe storage of firearms in Australia and in particular New South Wales. Now I had a few guys asking me some questions lately about how to go about storing their firearms for regulations and police check and what have you. Now the regulations state, guys, that you can own a safe that has the two separate compartments, and you can store your rifle in the bottom and your bolt in the top. Now that's perfectly fine, but you must store your ammunition in a separate lockbox in another separate part of the house. Also with your safe, if your safe is under 150 kilos, it must be bolted to both the wall and the floor. If it's over 150 kilos, it can just be bolted to the floor. Me in particular, I prefer to bolt it to both, just to be extra safe. That way it makes it a bit extra harder for the thief to try and steal it if they break in and they try and steal your safe. So, but with the storage of your ammunition, guys, you can either go ahead and buy one of those cheap safes from Aldi or your local hardware, and bolt that to the floor somewhere in your house, and use one of those, or some other sort of safe, or just one of these old military style containers will do the job. So long as you can padlock this, which is what I've got here. I use this for when I travel, when I'm carrying my my ammunition and my bolt and what have you, when I'm traveling around between home and the range, or when I go away hunting. But you could also use one of these in the house. All I've done with this one is drill a hole in the top, and in the hole in the side, and I use this titanium padlock. The reason why I use this, they're quite expensive to buy the padlocks, but I mean, you could probably buy one of those safes for around about the same price, but you've still got the same issue when travelling. So it's always good to have one of these. But yeah, I lock all my bolt. I lock my bolt, my magazines in one of these, and in a separate one I lock my my ammunition for when I'm travelling. But you can do the same thing with your home. So long as you store it in that, lock it with your padlock, put it in another section of the house, maybe in a lock cupboard would probably be the best. That will keep you within the regulations, for if the police come in and do a police check, and also it'll make it harder for the for thieves to try and put the rifle and the bolt and the ammunition and that all together. I myself prefer to at home to run 3 safes, one for the firearm, one for the bolts and mags, and one for the ammunition. That's me personally. That way it covers me wholly and solely under my insurance, and also it keeps the coppers and the regulations pretty happy as well. Extra happy when they see that you go to that extra mile to make sure that everything's safe. And I mean, personally, that's the way I'd recommend to do it. It is a bit of a pain in the ass. It is a bit of an extra cost, but if securing your guns is securing your sport, so that's the way I see it. So the more secure you make it, the less easier it is for it to be stolen, and the less the media and government can jack up and start pointing blame at firearm owners for firearms being out in the community illegally, which is what they seem to do a lot of. So anyway, guys, when you're traveling in the vehicle, you're supposed to have the firearm and bolt and ammunition in a separate part of the vehicle. So if it's alright, if you've got a sedan, you can put the rifle in the boot. You can put the your lockbox, storage box like this in the cab. But if you're like me and you've got a dual cab ute, some dual cab utes you can be lucky. The back seats can fold down. You can got a little compartment way out of the way to store your firearms there. You can store your bolt and your ammunition in your glove box. I wouldn't suggest doing that, just because of how easy it is to get into a glove box. What I tend to do is I keep these, and I might sit them maybe under the front seat, locked up, even with a chain around the seat frame, and then around one of these just to hold it into place. I know it's a little bit extra to go to, but it really saves your ass. I mean, if you to have a theft from your vehicle, somewhere while you're away, or on the way up to a trip or something. So you went into the garage and somebody pinched your vehicle or something like that, and you know, you had all your firearms and everything was lost in it. It makes it a lot harder for them to turn and basically to pinch your bolt and everything and that if it's, you know, in one of these containers locked and also padlocked to the seat frame of one of your seats or something like that. It makes it a lot harder for them to pinch it, and it's really going to cover your ass, you know, when it comes to calling the police and getting them involved, and you know, especially that it's really a lot of hassle, but you know, it's going to save your ass in the long run, and that's the main thing. Securing your firearms and securing your sport. So you know, that's my opinion on it, and that's the best way to do it. So that's how I go about it. You know, obviously there's a little bit more cost involved in doing that, but it's well worth it in the long run. And that way, if anything does also go missing, you know, if you can take some photos or whatnot of how your stuff is stored in your home, especially if you're going to insure all your equipment, which I would highly recommend that you do. And then you could also then, you know, save those photos to a hard drive somewhere, and you know, and keep them away in case of purposes of something goes missing. And you know, you should have no problems with any claims if you can produce photo evidence of how you've stored your firearms and your equipment. You know, to that extent that you've gone that far, then you really should have no problems with claims, especially with the police and also you know, with your insurance. So anyway, guys, that's how I suggest to do it. You don't have to do it that way. You can go to the bare minimums. But again, I'll say it again, securing your firearms and your bolts and ammunition is securing your sport, and making sure that, you know, we you know, makes it a lot harder for them to try and take away our rights and our freedoms with their firearms. So, you know, guys, hope this helps with the video. I know a few of you guys were asking me about this issue, so hopefully this clears up some of that and helps you out. And as always, guys, safe and happy hunting, and take care. Have a good one.